On today's episode of Titus and Tate, Kevin Durant has done it, Tate. He has positioned himself to be the American hero. We were talking about this last week, maybe this week, I forget.
It's all relative.
The play for Durant, who is not, as I've said over and over, is not like a super likable guy. I don't know if people hate him, but he's easy to cheer against. We'll say.
I like Kevin.
He has now positioned himself as the face of USA basketball, and I'll be damned if his plan has not worked to perfection, because he carried us. He carried us.
He is the reason that we are playing for the gold medal, and he deserves all the credit for this team getting to where it's going. And I mean, I only think about if he didn't play, how we'd be really, really bad off. So thank you, Kevin Durant. Thank you, Kevin Durant. Yeah, salute to Kevin Durant.
That's where I found myself saying, I'll be damned. He did it. The son of a bitch did it. He pulled it off. I'm cheering for Kevin Durant because I want USA to win the gold.
Kind of happened in the playoffs, you know what I mean? When he had this amazing run against the Bucks, everyone's like, I don't know,
That's
man.
True.
You can hate on Kevin all you want, but he's a bucket, you know.
But it's this is
what he wanted.
It's Vince Vaughn to Will Ferrell and Anchorman. It's like, God damn it, do I respect you? That's how I feel about watching him. Meanwhile, the drama in the Olympics is heating up, Tate. I don't know if you saw this. Luka Doncic and Slovenia lose to France. And Luka
What are the Mavs fans going to do? They're so upset.
Luka says that it's rigged. Luka says FIBA got what they wanted, and that had my attention. So we might talk about that. We're gonna cover the Olympics a little bit, but more importantly, more in our wheelhouse, I think, Tate. Summer League is right around the corner.
Yes.
And these rosters are coming out. Michael Beasley is on a team.
We'd love to see that. It's
that. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we got Jose Alvarado and Moses Rice teamed back together. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in the Summer League world.
I'm so excited for Summer League, as I am every year. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Mac McClung is playing on national television for the Lakers.
It's so good. It's so good. And finally, Emoni Bates, the #1 recruit in the class of record scratch 2021 now. No longer 2022. He has Emoni
Bates knows that you have to win the headline wars.
Yep.
That's it.
He has reclassified to 2021. He has now listed his final 4 schools, where 3 of them are actually schools and one of them is the G League. So we'll guess where he's going to go.
Basketball school.
We'll spend 30 to 45 minutes fleshing this out. Where is Emoni Bates ending up?
Yes.
Do you think it's Michigan State?
We're so intrigued.
What's going to happen with Emoni Bates?
Yeah, will he go back where he already left? Who knows?
It is Friday. It is the off season. We got good vibes flowing. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have a lot of fun on the show. But first,
Woody Durham.
All right, so before we get started, I was checking the internet like 10 minutes before we started doing the show.
Because it's the off season. We need topics, so scrolling through, checking them out. Yeah.
And I see this graphic that Bilas tweeted out that it's Mark Emmert standing at a podium with the NCAA logo.
Yes.
And Bilas tweets out a graphic of his own quote, which I guess is a move on Twitter these days. I'm old enough to remember the days, like if you did this in 2013 Twitter, you're getting clowned. Now it's like,
or you're going to be in the book humble brag, you know what I mean?
Yeah, now it's like par for the course. That's like what Twitter is. But
yes.
Anyway, his quote is, Bill's quote was this, and I just wanted to see your thoughts on this. The only difference between the NCAA and the Titanic is that the NCAA knew the iceberg was there. The NCAA knew the iceberg was there, but stayed on course to hit it because the iceberg was in front of the bank holding the NCAA's billions in revenue. Jay Bilas on the problems with the NCAA. And I guess
that was his answer there. Like, Jay, we have problems with the NCAA. Your thoughts on this? And he was like, well, have you ever seen the movie The Titanic or heard the story?
Do I have worms for brains, or like is this very confusing to you as well?
It doesn't really make sense, because it's basically saying that the Titanic, once you hit it, there was like a bank or some sort of good on the other side, right? But there was
the NCAA's bank was on the other side of the iceberg, and
so they were just saying we would just run over the iceberg to get to the bank. But then I'm not computing. Again, this might have broken my brain. As Jim, our producer, pointed out, he said that I didn't go to Duke, so maybe I don't understand this. But yeah. I do not understand this. I am not sure.
That's not the only difference between the NCAA and the Titanic. There's another difference. The Titanic was a ship.
Yeah, well, yes. One of them was a major ship.
The Titanic was also a major motion picture.
Scholarships is what the NCAA is based on. So, you know, the ships are involved.
I read that and I was like, man, Bilas is operating on a different plane, man. This guy is like...
it feels like he made that quote for the graphic, too, which it gives off that vibe, which is, you know, you want to have, like, you know, cultural reference. You want to have, like, you know, an analogy that people can relate. He was trying to hit all the marks, and he kind of did. But like you said, they don't compute. They don't add up to a logical comparison.
But maybe it does. That's what I'm saying. Like, Bilas operates on a different plane where, like, he
go to Duke.
This is a cottage industry for him. He just knows how to take like a topic, especially if it has anything to do with the NCAA, and put his
spin on it.
His fancy words and his fancy analogies, and all of us idiots are watching, just like, damn, that guy's smart. How did he?
Yeah. I mean, how recently did he watch the Titanic? That's my next question. It's got to be very recent. It's top of mind.
Mark Emmer, take this BuzzFeed quiz. Which Titanic character are you? Who's the guy, Rose's fiance? Is that Mark Emmer? Is that in this analogy? Or is he the captain of the Titanic? Captain Smith with the white
He's playing
beard
the violin as it's going down. He's actually kind of happy about it. He's like, you know, this is kind of poetic at the end of the day. He's definitely not on the door. He's not going to float down to the bottom. I mean, I haven't seen the Titanic in 10 years.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Jay Bilas has obviously watched it within the past 3 weeks, and shout out to him.
Fun fact about the Titanic: when the movie comes out, I was not old enough. It was 1996, right? I
think 7.
Seven. I was 9, 10 years old, whatever. And word gets out, they're naked breasts in the movie. Like the word gets around school. Like the kids, the degenerates.
Kids are talking, they're chirping.
Yeah, the degenerates in my school that like
they're giving you time codes.
The kids
4215.
The kids that I didn't see in Sunday school on Sundays. Those kids with those parents that never cared. They were like, yeah, I saw it. So what? I snuck into the theater. It's PG-13.
I went to Blockbuster and tricked him and told him I was 14.
And there are boobs in the movie, and I was like, whoa. I gotta see this movie. I gotta see this. And I begged my mom to take me to see it because I played the angle of like this is like a cultural phenomenon, Mom. Like this movie is like it's the biggest movie of all time. Like
Celine Dion.
Yeah, all the kids are talking about it, and I have no frame of reference. I don't know the Titanic story. Does it sink? Does it not sink? I don't know. I gotta watch the movie. This is educational, Mom.
Yeah.
She's like, fine, I'll take you to the movie, and I was like, got her. Yes. Got her. And then we get to the movie, and my mom had apparently been talking to the parents because she knew when the scene was coming up.
She covered
and all of a sudden, the scene's coming, and I'm rubbing my hands, and I'm like, here we go. All the boys were telling me about this. I'm like, here we go. Suddenly, a hand just comes across from the seat over.
Smacks you.
Smacks me in the face, and the hand stays right over my eyeballs.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I didn't. So that's my Titanic
Jay Bilas
story.
was old enough to go on his own and see it without someone covering his eyes. So that it obviously stuck with him for this long, and he was ready for this reference.
Man. That was we milked that graphic that he made. But I read this right before he came on air, and I was like, man, my brain is Bilas. Like, are we worried about him? Like, is he going to be lost at sea if the NCAA?
Yeah.
If all the players are making money, like, what is, you know what I mean?
He's like
what
a does comedian. He target? Yeah.
When Trump's out of office now, and you're like, well, what do I do now? What do I do? Where do I go from here? How do I?
You had one trick. It's wrong.
He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. But I really want him to come on the show and explain to us what he meant by this. And I will be honest, like there is some belief, some conspiracies, right? That they did know they saw the iceberg, right? It wasn't like it snuck up on them.
Oh.
You know, they just fell asleep at the wheel.
I would love to hear. I would love to hear these conspiracies.
I'm kidding. I don't think those are out there. But Jay Bilas, what are we talking about? How do we get to this?
I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole googling stuff after the show.
I think honestly, you can find any sort of theory on anything. So just keep looking for it.
Was the Titanic a false flag?
Yes. Is the Titanic fictional? I think that's a top Google result.
Speaking of conspiracies, let's talk about the Olympics. Let's talk about FIBA, because Luka Doncic, the golden child of the National Basketball Association, is apparently
of everybody.
Yeah. A man who has become a star in a league known for rigging outcomes.
Yeah.
Is now, Tate, unhappy with an outcome possibly being rigged. Slovenia loses to France. Luka passes up the final shot. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it was very LeBron. It was a very LeBron moment. You know, he gets the LeBron comparisons, and you know he made the right basketball play. It just didn't work out, right?
Or was it a Ben Simmons against Marquette moment where Ben Simmons was? Yeah.
Ben Simmons is in a different. I love that Ben Simmons is trying to get traded out of Philly, and they're like, "No, we're gonna make you play basketball. Like you have no choice." Ben Simmons is literally on Moron Mountain right now with Philadelphia.
He lost the game.
He has no leverage. He's like, "I would love to play on the Warriors." They're like, "That's cute. We'll see you at practice."
Trae Young was one of the Monstars, and Ben Simmons lost the game in Space Jam, and they're like, "You're ours now."
He looks like the Muggsy Monstar.
Yeah,
he does. It checks out.
Luka apparently in the post game after Slovenia loses to France says that like FIBA got what they wanted. That this was basically saying this was rigged, and that just
which is crazy.
Because it's not rigged. Like if you're gonna rig it, you want Luka versus USA, right? Like that's the rigged outcome. But that sucks. That's one thing that sucks to be if you're Luka, because I don't think you can ever play that card. Like Luka and LeBron and Steph are kind of the three guys that can never, if you lose, like when that was the absurdity of Aisha Curry saying this is rigged for ratings or whatever. I'm like,
well, she went up against LeBron. No, they were second fiddle.
Okay.
That's what it was. They finally figured out the pecking order. It was like, we're second.
Those are the three though that like you'll never rig. If you're rigging it, they're winning every time, right? Yes. And anyway, USA plays France now. The redemption tour, we beat Australia. We had lost to Australia in the exhibition game, as we know. We lost to France in the actual Olympics. Live bullets, France beat us.
Yep.
Now we get I guess if we beat France in the gold medal game, Nigeria hangs a banner. Is that how it works?
I think
like
so.
we never got
it's a very San Diego State situation. Nigeria just hangs that we beat the USA in exhibition undefeated
now that I think
against the USA.
What happened to Nigeria in the Olympics? I never really did they just like was it a San Diego State? Did they even come to the Olympics?
Yeah, no, they had already celebrated in Vegas.
They hung the banner in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
They forgot to show up.
Or no, sorry, Jahlil Okafor. I wish Jabari Parker was on that team. But at the end of the day, when you watch Team USA, they are still getting like they're not playing the best basketball, right? And the best part about this team, if you're the USA, is that we've already lost to France. This was the best case scenario, Titus, right?
Yeah.
When we had the Final Four, you know, obviously if we can survive Australia was like, we got to get a medal with this group. Does it? You know, they have a chance against Slovenia, but then when USA gets to play France, they've already lost to them. So they, you know, it'd be one thing if we had beaten France earlier, but now I feel like all signs point to gold. We're you know, if it doesn't happen, it's, you know, poor Kevin Durant, because he's done so much. He's literally carried this team to the gold medal game because he doesn't want the haters to get to him. And this is the ultimate message to the haters from Kevin Durant if he can win gold, and for Popovich too, because there's a lot of people, myself included, that said that they would like Rick Pitino to be the head coach of this team, and a lot of people were saying this.
But does
do you think it redeems them? That's the question.
That's my question. Is like if we kind of limp to the finish line isn't the right word. Like gold medal's a gold medal, and then USA deserves.
That's how it is. A gold medal's a gold medal. We won't remember. Yeah.
Boy, it does suck like watching these games, because if we're losing, it's like, see, I told you we suck. This is a problem. We're losing. Were we down at halftime, or did we come back and actually?
I think we came back, but we were down early, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like we always are.
We're down early in every game.
Every single game. Yeah, and when we're down, it's like blow it up, fire pop, get Brad Stevens in there, got the team, all that, and then we win. And I find myself, even when we win, and you just kind of shrug your shoulders, and you're like, all right, whatever. Like the only one that's really, I guess, Drew Holiday has been playing awesome, but it really this team is kind of boring from a.
I think Drew Holiday, like if we were to go through the team and like who's been a plus or a minus, you know, it's like Drew Holiday's a plus. I think Zach LaVine's been a plus. I think KD's been a plus. You know,
Dame's a minus.
I think Dame is a major minus. I think that Jason Tatum, in my opinion, is a minus. But
Double
also,
minus.
I'm okay if you want to say he's like equal. You know what I mean? Because he has, I think Czech Republic, he had 27. So I'll say he's like even. But as you go through the roster, right, like KD is like a plus, and that's really the one, and Drew's probably a plus, and those are the two that really stand out.
A plus plus.
I like a plus, a double plus. KD deserves the credit. I mean, we have no shot without him. We really don't. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, he's all we got.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of pressure for the gold medal game.
I do love that we've kind of it feels like there is like a growing pains of us trying to figure out FIBA basketball. Like there always seems to be
still happening.
But it does feel like we kind of just abandoned the whole idea of like trying to play international style. And it's like just give the ball to Kevin Durant and just trust that he's going to be awesome. Yeah. You know what? As it turns out, let's not try to play like the Europeans or anyone else play. Let's just play like America plays.
And luckily, like the Tatums of the world have figured out that you can goaltend, so like they are actually been helpful with rim protection. So we haven't had to play JaVale McGee as much as I originally thought we would. And Rudy Gobert is the best big, you know, in this tournament. That's who they're going up against. And that's why when Lucas said they fixed it, I understand what he's saying, because he's like, France is like the #2 national power in the mind of FIBA right now, and they already beat USA, and USA is who they want to knock off, and Slovenia is like this small country of 2 million people that they're literally the David versus Goliath when it comes to Slovenia versus France. So that's what his point was. And I could see that point of view if you're, you know, Slovenian and you're watching this game. You're like, of course they're going to want to put France wearing Jordan brand with Michael Jordan posted up in Paris. You know what I mean? Going against Team USA, which is basically Nike. This is like a Nike AAU showcase.
This is a Phil Knight special.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the PK80. And so I kind of got what Luka was saying, but at the same time, like you said, for viewership purposes, I wanted to see Luka versus Team USA. I wanted to see Mike Tobey versus Team USA. Yeah. It would have been great.
Remember when Phil Knight, by the way, the PK80 was in November? And we're all like, birthday. Oh, this is pretty cool. Happy birthday. Happy 80th. And then we find out Phil Knight's birthday is like February.
Yeah. He's like, this is the only time we can get the good teams to come.
Oh man, Rudy Gobert. I was thinking about this. I'm worried about the Rudy Gobert beating us, because Rudy Gobert has been his Q score, Tate. The national awareness of what Rudy Gobert is up to has been off the charts, really, for the last year and a half, right? Like from the moment he touched the microphone.
I was gonna say he basically started the pandemic from an NBA perspective. Yes,
he starts it from the NBA perspective. Remember, we come back to the bubble. Rudy Gobert is the first one to score, and like everyone got very excited about that. Remember, folks,
everyone's like, serendipity.
This year's playoffs, not a positive for Rudy, but like we're talking about him, that he was awesome for a second, and then the Clippers were like, this guy sucks. He can't get out and guard 3-point shooters, and they start spraying. What did they lose in 6? That was game 6, right?
Yeah.
They lose in Los Angeles, game 6, where the Jazz blow.
Terrence Mann.
Where once again I came out of that series like all I wanted to talk about was Rudy Gobert's defense and not the Clippers or anything that's going on there. I'm worried that France is going to beat us, and we're just going to talk about Rudy Gobert like we have for the last year and a half.
It would be Rudy Gobert talk. Yeah, it would be a lot of revenge for Rudy Gobert, because I do think that the American media and the American, fan hates Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? Like he definitely gets the vitriol from all of us. And, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it, but he is a much better player than we give him credit for. Even though the NBA gives him Defensive Player of the Year, he gets that acknowledgement. Once he gets to the playoffs, we learned he's not as, effective as he is in the regular season. There's a difference between the two. But bigs translate, you know what I mean? And Rudy Gobert is actually in a much more comfortable environment in FIBA basketball than he is in NBA basketball, because he can be more physical. He can obviously goaltend, which is that's the problem with Rudy Gobert in the NBA, is like he's kind of spastic and sometimes like goaltends and does stupid stuff, and kind of like Dwight Howard at times, where you're just like, what is this boneheaded play that you just made? Like I cannot believe this. Like, what is happening? But in FIBA, he seems to not play that way, and obviously plays much more comfortable with this country. So he's a big threat, and we may have to play JaVale or KD is going to have to slide over at times to the 5, which we'll see if that happens. But it is a bad matchup. If we wanted to label it as something, it's a bad matchup. I don't see us losing twice to France though, but knock on wood, we'll see.
I don't either. We can't lose.
We can't lose.
Yeah, we're not losing.
In my mind, I can't see us standing there with the silver medal. But I'm sure that when we are, someone will play this clip, and then I will say, "Oh wow, now I see it."
Fake news.
Now I see it. Is this a theory? Is this a conspiracy theory?
In my mind, France is like the Titanic, and the gold medal is behind the iceberg, and they're going for it.
And they see it.
But we're the iceberg.
Okay.
And Rudy Gobert is Jack. and Kevin Durant is Rose, and the ship is FIBA, and Luka is the captain of the ship.
Yes. Okay.
And
just keep going. Yeah.
And JaVale McGee is one of the violin players, and no, JaVale McGee is the guy who jumped off the Titanic and hit the propeller.
Yeah. He was like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. He's like, why'd I come to this?
God damn it. Yeah, the Olympics in general, it is a bummer how there's like I want to talk about it and I want to be excited, but also it doesn't really seem it's just kind of the same old, you know what I mean? Like it's not that intriguing. It's weird how that
Peacock. I mean, not, you know, like just not that it's Peacock's fault, but the idea of streaming the USA basketball games and having to pay for premium service, I think has left a lot of people. Like last night, one of my friends was texting me. He was like, "Where's the basketball? I'm watching skateboarding." And it's like, well, enjoy skateboarding unless you want to pay $4.99 a month, you know, forever. Right. And that is also playing a part, which is another reason why I feel bad for Kevin Durant, because he should be like this should be like primetime NBC, like he's Michael Phelps, you know what I mean? But he's like on Peacock behind a paywall.
That is kind of perfect that Kevin Durant puts the country on his back, leads us to a gold medal.
And you just read it on Twitter.
Because we're watching 14-hour reruns of 14-hour tape delayed.
I was watching men's diving, you know? I'm watching skateboarding and men's diving. And I'm like, I guess like this is.
What about the Olympics has caught your attention the most outside of basketball?
I mean, Caleb Dressel is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, the first gold medal that he won, his reaction with his family. I'm like, you know, there's always that moment in the Olympics where you just get hit with just like this wave of emotion.
Right,
You're like, I see how much this person put into this. I'm shook right now. Titmus from Australia, she like really impressed me and also pissed me off multiple times. And of course, Katie Ledecky, I love. She did great as well. The gymnastics, you know, with Simone Biles, that whole situation, it kind of took, you know, obviously a turn for, you know, what we didn't expect, but also good for her. And then she gets bronze, which is kind of like a nice, you know, bow to that experience. I enjoyed baseball, and I enjoyed women's indoor volleyball, but my girl Jordan Thomas, JT, got hurt. That twisted ankle. I hated to see that, but I mean, I've been all over the place. Canoe sprinting, which is another sport that I watched, and I was like, "What is this?" I don't even think USA has a canoe sprinting team, but
wait, they have sprinting, and I was watching the slalom. Is that different? The sprinting?
The sprinting is different. They're basically like they are on their knees and just like going as fast as possible. And I don't even know how they balance on these boats. It's insane. I didn't even know this was a sport. But yeah, I mean, USA track and field, we done great. The 400 meter, we done great.
The shot put guys last night. Krauser and Kovacs were just like shattering world record. They looked like there's the dude from New Zealand was killed. That was awesome. I was watching some of the shot put because Keller.
I feel like New Zealand is a country that loves shot put.
Yeah, Keller is clued in on the throwing situation, so he was telling me to like.
He was a shot. He
threw a hammer because he threw a hammer in college because it was the most just unique. He realized that like all the good guys are going to do shot put and discus. Yeah, and he's like, I might be able to.
He's like, I can slide in here.
Yeah. If I learn this one throw that no one else wants to bother learning, maybe I can.
He talked to Lori Laughlin's person and got him in school.
But he's like plugged into the throwing scene. He's like, you got to watch these two dudes that the Krauser and Kovac. And I watched last night, and it was insane. They were just like shattering.
Was that on the same time as the basketball too?
Yeah,
or was that later? Yeah,
I think it was the thing. Like,
like that. No one's watching Kevin Durant. They're watching the shot put.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
The shot put guys are awesome, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of volleyball too. Jordan Thompson was awesome. It sucks that she was hurt. The men's team sucked. I thought we were going to be better, but we were not. But
what about sand? Are you watching the women's sand team?
I mean,
the A team. Yeah. Obviously, we got to pull for the A team.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious that they're called the A team when we sent two beach volleyball teams.
Yeah, we literally have an A and a B team.
We literally have an A and a B team, and they're better. It's so funny.
I thought they were ranked number 1. I was upset when they were ranked number 2. I'm like, okay, this is disrespectful, but they got to win. That's still going on, right? I mean, that's the other part of the Olympics. Things just, you know, at once, like I saw Simone Biles was like flying home, and I was like, that's right. They're just like done. You know, it's like there's all these waves. Even the 3x3U basketball stuff, or not 3x3U, but the 3x3, the FIBA, you know, 3x3. You know, they were done and over with, you know, pretty quickly. So you got to keep up.
What happened to we don't have a guy in the decathlon, do we? That's great.
I don't think so.
I was watching a little bit of that. I think there's a Canadian guy that's killing. If I remember
that
right.
used to be that used to be the sport.
Yeah,
to show
dude,
you were
when
the greatest
Bruce Jenner
athlete.
won it back in the day, that's the whole reason like people knew who the guy was. He was on the cover of the Wheaties box because the decathlon was like considered the thing. And that seems weird to like hear about that. To like people who lived through that time are like, you got to understand when he won the decathlon, this was like a mass. It was like him and Mary Lou Retton, the two Olympians I remember from back in the, and Mark Spitz, I guess.
Greg Louganis,
yeah, but like he was a national hero for winning the decathlon. I feel like if an American won it now, I don't even know if anybody would notice or care. That's a bummer because it does feel like it's kind of should be like the event, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to show that you're the best athlete, which is, I mean, obviously we should put Russell Westbrook in that event if we want to see the best athlete. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? Russell Westbrook could win a lot of these things. I don't think he knows how to run the 400, but I would send Westbrook and see what happens. But I mean, that's the fun part of the Olympics. You learn about these journeys, you learn about these people, and 9 times out of 10, the Olympic, the American who is competing is one of the top 3, which is, I mean, we have such a blessing of talent in this country that it obviously gets overlooked, and we obviously collect all these medals, but it is cool when you see it in every different sport.
We also have a habit of, if we don't, I think this is the problem with the decathlon. If we don't have a guy or a girl who can compete, we're like, that sport's stupid. Instead of saying, like we do that with soccer.
Of course.
We as a country have shrugged our shoulders and be like, soccer's for losers. We don't want to.
Yeah. And then the women's team, I mean, that was terrible.
I go the other way with it, where I'm like, we should be great at everything. Let's figure it out. Like if we're, how do we not? I expect.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm like in Ohio State. I'm literally an Ohio State fan. Where if you told me that our water polo team finished like 8th in the Big Ten, I'm like, fire the coach, figure it out. I didn't watch a second of it this year, but we should be winning. We should be winning everything else.
Absolutely. Dude, 100%. North Carolina, same way. University of National Champions. If Anson Dorrance isn't delivering, you know what I mean? You got to figure it out. That's all it is.
Let's take a break, come back, and I want to go through these summer league rosters because I'm excited. I was looking a little bit beforehand, and Michael Beasley certainly.
He's the number 1 name on our power ratings. Yeah. Michael Beasley.
We're going to talk Summer League a little bit.
He's him.
All right, Summer League's getting underway in Vegas this weekend. We're not going, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's okay.
I had someone reach out. They were trying to maybe plan a trip because they thought we might be, not like for us, but they're like, I'm going to Vegas soon. When are you going to be there for Summer League?
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit me that I think that was the deciding moment where I was like, I don't really want to go. It doesn't feel like it's going to be normal. It doesn't.
It's not the same. It's not the same. That's what it is. If it was full throttle Summer League, like if there was no global pandemic, there was no grave concern to my health, then I would be locked and loaded at Summer League, and everyone else would be. But I think we can have more fun, from a distance, for at least for this year. But we'll be back full throttle again, I believe.
Yeah, the Summer League experience is not about the basketball, Tate. It's about the mingling. It's about the playing blackjack and watching Vlade Divac he walks by and you're just like, hey, that's Vlade Divac. And then Mike Bibby's at the blackjack table, and then like Richard Jefferson and Luke Walton are playing beach volleyball somehow.
Chris Paul and LeBron show up randomly for that one game, and they're like sitting on the sideline as if they're Denzel Washington. Yeah, it's just a great time. It's a great time.
Weirdly enough, I remember, like, if you put a gun to my head and tell me name one like on-court moment in Summer League that you remember, it's probably Zion stealing the ball from, that was Kevin Knox, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was, because he was first round pick, and then it was also an earthquake, right?
There was an earthquake. Yeah, he caused an earthquake. Yeah, like that's the one.
Zion shook the world.
Kevin Knox hasn't been the same since.
No.
I think that like did him in. Kevin Knox was a Summer League star,
and now Kevin Knox is not coming to Summer League.
He's not going to Summer League. Yeah. And that's the end of it. Let's go through some rosters though, because I'm always curious. This is the joy of Summer League. Why we love it so much is because it's just like it is what TBT kind of is trying to be, which is like the jolt of nostalgia. Except TBT is like mostly washed up old dudes, and Summer League is like guys that are still playing professionally, trying to get into the NBA. You know.
Yeah, I guess shout out to Boeheim's Army, by the way. That was a great moment for Syracuse.
That was fun. I watched the end of that game. Yeah, that was a good.
It was Devendorf, right?
He didn't hit the shot, but
it was his last hurrah, right?
Yeah, it was his last. Yeah.
For Jimmy B. That was good for the Coach K farewell tour too.
Devendorf was the Diebler of the Boeheim.
He's like who I know, that he's like the face of the team. But then if you actually watch, like I haven't watched, so I just I'm picking up what's getting put down out there.
All right, summer league rosters. I just googled and pulled them up. I want to figure out. We got to do a PSA for the people because I doubt that people are really paying attention to who's on these summer league rosters. So
I'm locked in.
What teams stand out to you? Let's just scroll through them here and see.
Let's start with the Charlotte Hornets because I think that they are a fascinating bunch, and they're led by LiAngelo Ball. And this is that's the third Ball brother. This is not LaMelo Ball. This is not Lonzo Ball, who is the starting point guard of the Chicago Bulls and the starting point guard of the Charlotte Hornets. This is their third brother who went to China, a part of UCLA, who had to thank Donald Trump for freeing him from China. LiAngelo Ball. Talk about a team, right? You have a team that has 2017 national champion Joel Berry, who is like a college basketball player to a T, fits that description to a T. And then you have LiAngelo Ball, who is probably the antithesis of a traditional college basketball player. They're on the same team. You also got Kai Jones from Texas.
Jones, that's exciting.
That's exciting. Vernon Carey, who was a star at Duke, and then your boy DJ Carton, who is the Carolina.
DJ Carton, yep.
This is a team that has a lot of storylines.
Did you say Bouknight? Obviously.
Of course.
Yeah,
the Kemba candidate, James Bouknight. Kenny Williams, another Tar Heel, a national champion on this team as well. So
that's a good team.
Yeah, it's
a
good
fun team. That's
like
definitely.
Team. And shout out to Grant Riller. He's also a guy that I really like to see playing for this team. So
I'm scrolling through here. The Boston Celtics are.
Oh wow.
Jumping out to me because they are basically. Brad Stevens is an Indiana guy. He can call himself a masshole all he wants. I'm looking at this roster for the Boston Celtics.
This is very Indiana heavy. Yes.
Zach August, Notre Dame, done.
Yep.
Boom. Carson Edwards, Purdue.
Yes.
Romeo Langford, Indiana. What more? And then Sam Hauser, who.
Basically, should have played at Indiana.
Feels like he's from Indiana, doesn't it? Peyton Pritchard.
Even Aaron Neesmith, who came on our show, I'm like, this guy seems like he should be from Indiana.
The Lawson brothers.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. The Celtics certainly have a lot of names that if you're a college basketball fan, you would remember all these guys. Who else here? What else we got? Scrolling through here. Cavs. Blew it. Jalen Hands, that's a name I haven't thought about in a long time.
Yeah, UCLA point guard.
Oh, my God.
Basically it was little Russell Westbrook when he was at UCLA, but not the size, not the athleticism, but played in a similar fashion. That's an interesting team because you got Evan Mobley on that team, which is, I think should have been the number one pick, could have been the number one pick as an absolute star. And Isaac Okoro, who last year showed flashes from Auburn, from the Bruce Pearl. He is the reason we got the Ditch interview, Isaac Okoro. So we have to give him his proper due.
He's got the character.
His character counts, and so that's good for the Cavaliers. Chandler Valdron, who I said was going to get the upset in the 12-5 game that a lot of people were upset about with Winthrop, he is on this team. So hopefully he can avenge me and show some talent for the Cleveland Cavs. I kind of like the Cavs team. That's fun.
Oh, dude, Ryan Daly on Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, our guy.
With Ayo.
Yeah.
With
Tony
with Dotson. No. Omari Spellman.
Yeah. This is a good team.
Oh, dude, that's a good team. I like that team. Tyler Bates. Sterling Manley. How about that? There you go. Jerome Robinson. Whew. All right.
And Patrick Williams is actually a starter in the NBA. So they have that's the thing with Summer League is you can cheat the system and send I remember when we went with it was Duncan. The Miami Heat had Bam Adebayo running point guard and they had Duncan shooting, and it's like those two guys went to the NBA Finals and they were running Summer League, and it all checked out. So.
I feel like Duncan ruined Summer League by being by being too good. I think Duncan had positioned himself to be Mr. Summer League. He got too good. There hasn't been a Summer League since, has there? Has there been a Summer League since that Duncan Robinson has not played it?
He shut it down.
No, he shut it down. And then he came on our show and said, I'm not worried about coronavirus.
Yeah. and literally shut it down after that.
And shut it down. Oh, man.
The Pistons are another team because, Cade Cunningham, number one pick. Luka Garza, National Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah, Pistons. Yeah. Checking a lot of boxes. Sadiq Bey. Yep. Yeah. Sadiq Bey is certainly John Petty, Alabama.
That's a good. I mean, Killian Hayes is who I think KOC had as the number 1 player in his draft last year. So there's a chance he can blow up in this. Sekou Demboya, I've always liked him. France guy, 2 French guys on this team. Killian Hayes is also French. So the Pistons are interesting. I mean, can we talk about Mac McClung, because I think that is that's probably the biggest name.
The Lakers have a. But is this the Lakers? Because they're playing right now. They're in Sacramento playing, right?
Yeah, they're playing in the California Classic. Yeah.
The Lakers are loaded in terms of names that I care about.
I mean, Devontae Kaycock is one of the OGs, friend of the programs. We crowned him a champion at 3x3U. Joel, Ayayi from Gonzaga, who obviously was a part of this team last year. Yoli Childs, who we always love from BYU, is on this team. Sean D. Brown. I hate that guy, but God damn it, do I respect him? Shawnee Brown was Justin Robinson from Virginia Tech, another one. Yeah,
Jeff Jackson Simpson, former point guard.
I can't believe Jeff Jackson made this team. Congratulations, Austin Reeves.
Trace Tinkle.
Yeah,
dude, they're the Lakers.
You can tell that LeBron watches college basketball when you look at the summer league roster.
That's a Final Four team for sure. That team's going to the Final Four. All right, who else? Let's see here. I'm trying to find. There was another team I was thinking of that. Was it the Pelicans? I mean,
and they just have like. Oh yeah. Talk about the
Pelicans, you said it at the top. Jose Alvarado, Moses Wright, and Herb Jones. You didn't mention Herb Jones, but Herb Jones, SEC Player of the Year. Jose Alvarado and Moses Wright are playing together in summer league.
And Kyra Lewis, who played at Alabama, beforehand with Herb Jones. So I mean, you got that. You got teammates. So they have a real team there in New Orleans.
Malcolm Hill can play a little bit. If Josh Pastner is coaching this, do you think? I guess that's the question. You look at Moses Wright and Jose Alvarado. They win the ACC tournament.
Yep.
Is summer league? This is going to be the gauge. If Moses Wright and Jose Alvarado do not win summer league, we have definitive proof that the ACC is tougher.
Than summer league.
Than summer league. Yeah. Right. I think we have to. I think we have our answer. The Knicks are certainly interesting. Obi Toppin, obviously.
We need Obi and Reed Travis. They're kind of like a good 1-2 punch of college basketball names over the past couple of years. I like that. Quentin Grimes, of course.
Quentin Grimes, Justin Patton, Emmanuel Quickly, Wayne Selden. The Sims brothers,
Wayne Selden.
Yeah,
that's
Wayne
a good
Selden.
one.
The Sims brothers, who aren't actually brothers, and Amir Sims and Jericho Sims.
Yeah,
they spell it differently.
Honestly,
MJ Walker, dude. The Knicks are pretty loaded too.
Yeah, they got a good team. They got a really good team. Yeah, Quentin Grimes could be a star for that team too.
That's fun. That's
good job, New York. You've done it again.
I love. Do my eyes deceive me? I don't know what rosters you're looking at. I'm on Hoops Hype. They put them all together. Do the Magic have like 48 people on their team?
It is a lot, because they have Cole Anthony, they have Brazdeikis listed here.
Yep.
They have
they're Michigan guys. At Brazdeikis, John Teske, and Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
That's too many Michigan guys.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And RJ Hampton, who was he kind of a Michigan guy for a half second?
Yeah, before he was like, I'm out.
And then he was gonna go to Kansas, and then he went to not either of those.
None of those. Yeah, he opted out.
The Magic have our attention. Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs will be fun to watch together. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Cole Anthony should be a star in summer league, you would think, but Jalen Suggs, DJ Hogue, I've always liked. I've always thought he was like someone that should get some shine in the NBA. Justin Jackson from Maryland is another guy that I found interesting. Jeremiah Tillman also is a 5-star recruit at one point, and could actually show some things. The Sixers are interesting as well. Charles Bassey.
Yeah, Sixers. I'm looking at them. My eyes are. I'm loving this. Loving this. Charles Bassey, Mitch Ballack. Let's go. Best shooter in he's the best shooter in summer league. Him or Wieskamp.
And who are we taking? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take Wieskamp every single time, but it's a toss up. And Petrusev as another guy that I'm like, I want to see where he's at. Paul Reed looked great in G League last year. They got
Charles Matthews.
Yeah,
one of Cal's guys. There's too many Michigan guys. That's what I'm learning here. This is preposterous. Charles
I blame
Matthews
Rob Pelinka. This is all Pelinka.
Frank Mason, former National Player of the Year, will be playing for the 76ers. This is a nice squad too. I'm excited. Jaden Springer, did you already say him?
No, but Tennessee's probably upset because we forgot. Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, we always forget the Tennessee guys. Aaron Henry.
Oh wow,
man,
that's
dude,
a squad.
What a squad! I
Elton
love
Brand,
Summer League, dude.
See, Elton Brand watches college basketball.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the Portland Trailblazers, you can tell that they just want NBA players because they have Emmanuel Mudiay, Michael Beasley. Like they have like NBA vets on this team, and then they have guys like Kenneth Faried. I mean,
dude,
the Blazers are interesting.
The Blazers are, oh my God. The Blazers are.
Caleb Wesson, your guy. There you go.
Yeah, Caleb Wesson. The Blazers are definitely the most talented team, and they have zero chance of winning this thing. They're going to be the most dysfunctional team.
They are gunning. They are gunning. Guys like Nasir Little, or I hope that he gets touches because Michael Beasley is going to say I'm him at least 5 times throughout his time in Vegas.
Michael Beasley, Greg Brown, Kobe Simmons.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of alphas on this team.
Trendon Watford.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of, there's a lot of
alphas.
Rudy,
Kobe Simmons, like, are you kidding me? All these guys are like, I'm getting mine. You know,
Caleb Wesson,
there's a lot of waving guys off as they're trying to put their hands up for the pass. They're like, yeah, no.
Caleb Wesson needs to call his agent right now and fire him and say, why the hell did you put me on this?
Wrong team.
I'm not going to get the ball.
Yeah, they're never passing to me. I'm going to be playing defense. I'm the only guy playing defense.
Oh man, is there anyone else who stands out? I guess.
I mean, the Kings I watched play the other night. Matt Coleman is very interesting. I mean, I've always thought that Matt Coleman, like we saw him in the Asheville Maui Invitational, and you know he has some potential. Alex Antetokounmpo, Giannis's brother, is on this team. Giannis said he can be a star in this league, so he's interesting. Davion Mitchell, you know, the best player in the Final Four in the national championship game, going to be playing. It's kind of a road to nowhere when you go to Sacramento.
They got Derek Walton on that team too. This is disgusting. This is what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Michigan, I feel like I would hear about this by now. Michigan's Twitter account would have fired off the tweet, but it feels like Michigan
Big Ten
has
stats of the day should
more players in summer league than anyone else. It really feels like Michigan might have the crown here. This is disgusting. All right, I guess maybe is there?
I mean, the Spurs are probably the last team with Wieskamp. I mean, Wieskamp. Yeah, Trey Jones,
Matt Mitchell, which is at San Diego State. Scal from Kentucky, who can forget?
Yeah,
Trey Jones.
Zach Norvell.
How about that?
Yeah.
Zach Norvell.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, that's fun. There you go. There's some. There's your summer league update. Those are the teams that. Oh my God, dude! The Jazz have 1,000 people too. How does this work? I could get on a summer league roster. I think.
I think so. I think you just have to share. I also think Justin Patton is listed on 2 different rosters. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're just putting names out there that like could be here. You know what I mean? This is where we are. Just
guys that, there's gonna be a guy.
Where's Cooley? Where's Jack? That's what we need. We need Jack Cooley. Put him on the Blazers.
Jack Cooley is like Jack Cooley just shows up and he's not on a team. He just is like a fill-in. He's like all-time quarterback in a backyard football game. Where he's like, who needs an extra guy?
They just give him a jersey. Let him go.
He wears he's like he wears like the red jersey like the quarterback wears at football practice.
Yeah. He shows up with a jersey from 4 years ago. They're like, it's different branding. It's like an Adidas brand. They're like, are you here with the Jazz? He's like, yeah, for sure. Let me get in layup lines.
Shout out to the Washington Wizards as well. Marquise, how do we pronounce it?
Marcus Bolden. Yeah. Or Mark.
How does he?
I think it's Duval. Yeah. I think it's
Duval. Trevon Duval, Marquise Bolden, Aubrey Dawkins.
Yeah, that's great. I love Aubrey Dawkins. That's fun.
Jay Huff, Corey Kispert, obviously, Cassius Winston, Justin Wright Foreman.
Another one of our guys.
Dude, Joe Young from Oregon. That's a blast from the past. He was playing in China, I guess. He says he's going to be playing in Wizards in the Wizards Summer League. So
and I've always loved DeJuan Hernandez, who played at Miami. I've always thought that he was super talented, so he's also on this team. And I mean, I don't even know who the favorite is going into Summer League. I would assume that, like you said, the Blazers probably have the most experience, but there's no way they're winning. I'm going with the Hornets.
Who's going to get the most? Who's going to be the most talked about team? Who's going to be the most talked about team in terms? Because like the Hornets.
LiAngelo's pulling from half court. I think
it's going to be the Blazers though. Yeah.
Blazers versus Hornets is the game I want to see.
I think the Blazers are going to be the team that has everyone's attention, but I don't think they're gonna.
No.
Like we said, I don't think they're gonna be playing long enough to have. Yeah. I love summer league, dude. It sucks that we're not gonna go, but
yeah, we're coming. We're gonna come back eventually. Eventually, we'll get there. I believe.
I really thought we would do it this year, but not in the cards. What else is there? Emoni Bates. We want to hit it that real quick.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
What's the news? He reclassifies.
Yes, that was the big news. But he reclassified with his updated list. So he did them in conjunction. So he has now 4 options, and 3 of them are universities, and one of them is the G League Ignite team. So that's where we are. We got final 4 for Emoni Bates.
The final 4. One of the universities is Michigan State. That stands out to me. That he's still putting out these graphics, and he had committed to Michigan State. Remember, in his commitment statement, he said, "I'm a loyal guy." They showed me, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but they have shown me loyalty throughout this process. I want to show them loyalty back. That's why I'm committing to Michigan State. And then like a month passes, it felt like, and he was like, I take it all back. I'm not going to Michigan State. And then everyone was like, okay, so this guy's, I'm sure tomorrow he's going to announce that he's just going pro or whatever. No. Not the case. He's like, I'm opening up my recruitment again. Yeah. And then he throws Michigan State back on the list. And I guess if not for Kofi Cockburn, Tate, I would think this is preposterous that Michigan State has no shot. Now I'm talking myself into what if Emoni Bates ends up committing to Michigan State again?
He just wanted to feel the love, you know?
Yeah.
Once you're committed, you don't feel the love as much. And, you know, once he decommits, they're all back in his living room. You know, Tom Izzo's dumping the rings on the table. You know, he's showing the Flintstones. Like, they're putting up the graphics. I think a lot of the wooing it stopped for Emoni Bates once he committed, and he was like, "No, I like the woo. Give me the woo again.
Give me more woo." The Michigan State fans are making memes of him and videos of. You know,
they need that kid that ran the mile that said, "We love you, Kofi." To like, they need a Michigan State fan to do that and spell out, "We love you, Emoni."
That's I still want, my number one thing I want is a player to say, whoever wins the national title, that's what school I'm going to. I want that. That's number 1. Number 2 has become, I want a guy to say, here are my final 5 schools. I am going to leave it up to the fans. Whoever makes the funniest memes.
Yes.
Me. Ready, go.
Me to the moon.
Whoever makes me laugh the hardest wins. Go. Ready, go.
I mean, honestly, it feels like we're trending that way, right? I mean, especially with all these announcements. I mean, poor Tipton Edits. Does the guy get a break? I mean, every single day.
Hardest more graphics. Show business.
He's like, I need more graphics.
What else is there? What else is going on? You got anything else?
Honestly, I just wanted to shout out the FIBA. Did you see this FIBA graphic that they made of Team USA? It's like Dame Lillard is like the central figure on this graphic, and as if he is like the star of this team. And I was like, is the FIBA account like trying to troll Kevin Durant? Because it gave off that energy. It almost to the point where you think Kevin Durant may respond. Like it is basically as if Dame Lillard is Michael Jordan. It's like his huge head. It's like a Star Wars poster. You know what I mean? It's like Dame's huge head being like the leader of Team USA, and then the rest. So I just wanted to shout out the FIBA basketball account because I feel like this is all done to get Kevin Durant's attention. He is obviously our best player, and it will be the reason if we win a gold medal that we win a gold medal. But also shout out to the trolling because it never stops. The haters never stop, and that's where we are.
What nationality is the FIBA account? The guy who runs it.
Serbian. I think Serbian.
You know how is that fair?
He's a joker. You know what I mean? That's what it has to be. And like if you look at Djokovic and Jokic are both jokers, it's got to be a Serbian. Yeah, they're the jokers. Yeah,
which I don't like, by the way. I don't like that you have 2 guys that are both at the peak of their powers.
Jokic is the joker on occasion. He's not always the joker. You know what I mean? He like turns into him on occasion. But I think Jokic is always the joker. That's my interpretation of it.
It makes no sense. You can't have 2 guys from the same country both have the same nickname.
I think they're trolling us. I'm telling you, they're kidding with us. They're like, we'll tell the stupid Americans that's our nickname.
I just looked it up. You know where FIBA's headquarters are?
Oh, I don't know. Tell me.
If you had to guess.
Paris.
Yeah. Switzerland. That's a little too on the nose, isn't it?
That's way too on the nose. Too neutral.
That's 2 on the nose.
Pick a slant.
We got.
It should be in Atlanta.
It really should.
That's where I want people to be. Lou Williams is playing next to him.
We put it in a college basketball town. It's in like Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, honestly, let's do it.
It's in Lexington.
Yeah, Lawrence, Kansas would be great.
All right. I have a few shout outs myself. Number one,
Please.
my brother. My brother's birthday is today as of this recording. He's turned 37 years old, and he listens to the show. He's a huge fan of ours. He's also a huge fan of the Indiana Hoosiers, and
he is.
He is. I want to give him a quick
He's
shout
a true
out
blood.
because he's a true. He is him and my father both went to Indiana. My father has taken the identity of an old he was a guy who lived through the Bob Knight heyday. My dad has cheered for Indiana when they won national titles. So he is a guy who is as I've said on the show, like Indiana, he's disgruntled. It's hard to please him. IU could win 20 games in a row, and he's like, doesn't matter. The 75 Hoosiers went undefeated, and then they lost in the NCAA tournament. So it's still, like there's always like but my brother's the opposite. He's like an eternal optimist.
No, he believes like when Romeo Langford committed, your brother's like, this is the new era.
Yes.
Yeah, like
My
Archie got
brother-
it done. Miller time. Yes.
Yeah, yes. My brother has texted me the phrase "we're back" like 1,700 times in the last 10 years. There's
You guys are back in football, I think. I think he's right about that. Yeah.
He does it with football too. There was before the Cubs won the World Series, the three teams that my brother seemed to care the most about was the Chicago Cubs, Indiana basketball, and the United States men's national soccer team. And what was so great about it was like all three of them checked the box of like, there's that prospect that's coming up. That's going to save everything.
Yes, we have a savior on the way.
We're right there. The savior is coming. And it was just like nonstop with my brother, just like, we're doing it. I saw this guy. The Cubs got this minor league prospect.
It's the hot dog dangling in front of the dog. You know what I mean? Just chasing is like, we're gonna get there. I see it.
So anyway, my brother Ryan, he's it's his birthday, so shout out to him. But also
happy birthday, Ryan.
He's geared up that Mike Woodson's the coach, and he's excited about the Hoosiers and all that.
Should be.
I just wanted to. I hope that's his birthday present, is that the Hoosiers are in fact actually back this time.
And guess what, Ryan? Here's another birthday present. Look at Brad Stevens trying to make trades and run a team. I mean, obviously abysmal, doing nothing, lost Evan Fournier to the Knicks. I mean, my goodness. So Ryan, you made the right decision. Woody was right. He was always right. He was always the right guy.
Let's look into that a little too much. What's going on with Brad Stevens right now? Is he Googling how to trade?
Yes.
He's
literally our former employer trying to like figure out trade exemptions and the restricted free agency. He's like Googling all this stuff. He's like, what are cash considerations? Please. Danny's not picking up the phone. He's in Utah. Danny's in Utah. That's all I know.
I just picture Bill like at TD Garden, and he's Eric Andre at the White House, just yelling, "Let me fix this.
Let me in.
I'm a trade machine, Picasso.
Yes, we need it, Monk.
Brad, I can do this.
Bill, we need Bill. Brown for Bill.
Oh man. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Lionel Messi, who is stepping away from FC Barcelona. How do you
Barcelona?
Barcelona. Shout out to all the white guys in America that when they type Barca, the BARCA on Twitter, they take the time to like hold down the C and get the little What do we
that's
call
the
that?
thing now. We used to let it slide. Yeah, we used to let it slide. Like you didn't have to do that, but now if you don't do that, you don't actually watch soccer. At least based on how these people act. You know what I mean? And that's just where we are.
Yeah, it's very. I don't know. It's. I'm like, aren't you
talk about turning people away from the sport? You know what I mean? Like talk about being a gatekeeper. It's those types of people. Seriously.
You see guys from St. Louis that don't speak Spanish.
Yeah,
I've never.
I see guys that I played soccer with in high school in Henderson, North Carolina, doing it. I'm like, look, we're come on.
Soccer is hilarious like that.
I mean, the best when people won't even call it soccer. They're like, it's football.
It's football.
And if you call it soccer, you're ignorant, you know. And I'm like,
do you have the new PSG kit? Did you get that? And like, I mean, like, dude, what
I did when Jordan made it. I was like, yeah, I do have that new kit. Thank you, John.
Man City's got a big fixture coming up this weekend.
That was like when I was younger. It was like Ronaldo, Man City was like the only thing overseas, and usually the people that liked Man United. Yeah, the only reason that people like the same people that like the Cowboys and Duke liked Man United. You know what I mean? It was a certain type of fan, and Ronaldo was a certain type of fan. And then I loved Barcelona and Leo Messi when he was like, wearing number 19 on the wing before he moved to number 10, and they had like Samuel Eto'o and Xavi and Iniesta and Puyol. Like that was a fun generation of Barcelona, but You know, alas, we're old now. 21 years that Messi played with him. You know what I mean? That's like, I'm 28 years old, and I've watched this man since I was 7 years old play in Barcelona. Yeah, exact And here I sit, and I'm like, time flies.
If I remember right, let me look it up. I think Messi might be 1 day older than me. Yeah, he is. He's 1 day older than me. Exactly.
That's respect.
Exactly 1 day older than me.
I mean, he's got to come to LAFC, I think.
Yeah.
That's my pitch.
I'm hearing it more and more that the Columbus Crew and Messi have a
Columbus is a city. I can see him. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go from Gracia neighborhood in Barcelona, to
we got
Columbus.
a brand new stadium, Tate. The facility's great. Just give us a chance, Messi.
I'm just glad you guys are the Crew again, or you know what I mean. I don't know. The crew. Yeah, save the Crew.
Save the Crew. Part 3. Part 1 was don't relocate to Austin. Part 2 was
literally stop trying to change the name.
Part 3 is get Lionel Messi to come to Columbus.
Yeah. Whoever runs the Crew is always like, change? Anyone want change? Everyone's like, no, we don't want change.
We want a title. They want MLS Cup, but they're like, let's change it all.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's throw the brand down the drain and start over.
Rebrand.
Speaking of change, you doing the change South Park? How about that? You see this? Did you hear about this?
This is a
shout out to the South Park
shout
boys.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to take this one?
Well, no, one more season, right? We get season 30 of the actual show, which is something that was not a foregone conclusion. We did not know if it was going to come back, but Paramount Plus said we came with the bag, $900 million reportedly to our guys Trey and Matt, and they are going to make 14 movies, and apparently Trey has written 10 of them already, and he said that they were not accepted by anybody else to be made, and now Paramount, they're in for it. You know what I mean? So like, Trey not only knows what these movies are going to be about, but I can't wait.
What is the list of people that when they say we've pitched these movies and everyone said no, that your mind, instead of going, they must be garbage movies, your mind goes, wow, they must be like really off the wall.
They must be epic.
I can't wait. Yeah, they must be epic. Because I feel like it's those two guys, maybe Howard Stern like 20 years ago, but not anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know who else is on the list where like anybody else that like if Quentin Tarantino even was like, I've been trying to get these movies made, no one wants to do it. I'm like, the movies probably suck when like you probably don't
it's probably like
a
bad idea, and you probably are doing something really offensive that nobody wants to see. Yeah, exactly.
But Matt and Trey, I'm like, I have to see this. That must be. That makes me want to see it even more.
Exactly, and you think about like all like every iteration of the movies that they've made. They have a different. I mean, Team America is like this whole separate time, in the U.S. of A. And they perfectly make fun of everybody. I mean, Matt Damon. I mean, like just, you know what I mean, like, and that still holds up. You know what I mean? It still checks out. Like it's still hilarious.
It's still,
and that's how they've always operated. I mean, and like. There's so many different, even within the series, imagination. There's so many different eras and epics and journeys. It's insane, and they have been my guiding light of like how to deal with culture. Like throughout my life, it's kind of like something happens that seems insane. I don't know how to, take this in and digest it. Oh wait, Matt and Trey have made fun, like PC Principle, for example. It's like I don't know how to deal and wade in the water. So here's PC Principle to show us what some of these people are like that we deal with, you know what I mean? And they always get it. They always get it right. And even if they don't, it's still hilarious. You know what I mean? Like Soda Sopa. We live in Soda Sopa.
I love that show so much. Just get it. I'm so excited they're back. I still think it's hilarious, by the way. I think
Randy Marsh is like the best TV character maybe ever. You know what I mean? As far as the evolution of Randy Marsh, from fighting the bad dad. I mean, he is like, he was Lord. You know what I mean? Randy Marsh is so much range. Like, it can't be stopped,
dude. I think it's still hilarious. I do. I think I think the prevailing thought is that it's not as funny as it used to be. It's not as good as it used to be. Maybe that's true, I guess. But I think more than anything else, like we've all changed around. Like, and part of it too is
we've grown.
One, but like it suffers from the same thing that a lot of things suffer from, which is the world itself. Life has imitated art to such an extent that. South Park used to take an event and then make it as absurd as possible.
Yeah.
And now it feels like the events themselves are as absurd as possible.
Yeah.
And
so how can you make fun of the absurd?
Yeah,
it's like the Trump dilemma with SNL. It's like how Trump is actually funnier than Alec Baldwin. You know what I mean? Like that was the dilemma.
And I think that's part of the problem with South Park, where you're like, honestly, reality is almost funnier sometimes. Like watching, these videos of like people in supermarkets fighting with each other,
or guys on Frontier flights like fighting. You know what I mean? Like
and then
you're
getting
just
duct taped to the like in South Park. In the past, South Park would like take a story about a guy who was mad on a flight and then take it to a level where he says, my parents make $2 million, and then he gets duct taped to a seat. Now that's reality. Now this is happening.
That was Eric Cartman, like as a joke, you know what I mean? Respect my authority, like that, and now it's reality.
Oh man, is there anything else? Is that all?
Yeah, one last thing I wanted to shout out, Coach K, who released his non-conference schedule, and most times when you release your non-conference schedule, you will have at least one player from the team, represented on that graphic. Coach K had 4 Coach Ks. I didn't know that I needed this graphic. I didn't need, and they still
4K,
don't have.
Dude. It's a 4K image.
Yeah, true. This is 4K. I wish it was 5. I need 5K starters. If they remake the NCAA basketball video game, I request that Coach K be a player. But he's in a suit still. But you can play with 5 Coach Ks. And they charge charges at 100. Yelling at the officials at 100. All the above. But shout out to Coach K, because he is, of course, the greatest coach we've ever seen.
That should be the ultimate unlockable character in 2K. Yes. Like if you win a national title on the hardest difficulty, it unlocks Coach K, that you can play with him. Like you could play with Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. And NBA Jam back in the day. Right?
Yeah, 100% exactly what I was thinking about. Yes.
Yeah.
I want Coach K in the suit, and I want his hair to be absolutely dyed black, and I want him to be down in a defensive stance. And then I want when he gets hit, like when he fell to the ground, like I want that to be how he falls slowly to the ground. Make it lifelike.
If you're making the poster, you put a 5th.
I put 5Ks.
You put 5Ks, and one of them is Coach K at Army, and they make it look like he's a current Duke player. And if you squint close, like you Photoshop it just enough, and you're like, who's that guy that plays?
Is that Joey Baker?
Yeah, is that Joe? Nope. Another K. It's another Mike Krzyzewski. There it is.
I mean, this guy will not play a real road game unless it's the ACC Big Ten Challenge. That is the only real road game they have on the schedule, and it is pure comedy. I love it so much. I mean, he has not played a real road game since 1997. Seriously. And he gets away with it. We let him get away with it.
So good. My final shout out is Justin Fields, who's killing it in training camp. And Tate, I've never been more excited for an NFL football season.
I did this before with Mitch Trubisky. Just settle down. Don't say anything. Don't get too excited. Definitely don't start making up nicknames. Don't compare him to Michael Jordan.
you are the cautionary. You're like the guy who got strung out on drugs and goes and speaks at the high school, and you're
straight
like,
up.
Here's my testimony. Drugs ruined my
Chris
life.
Herring. I'm Chris Herring. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And you're talking about how drugs ruin your life, and I'm the kid that's just sitting there. It's like, that sounds pretty tight. That sounds sick. You're doing what?
Yeah. Someone comes to
you and taps you up. Like,
bro, that's pretty sick, man. That's a cool story. You're like, no.
That's me listening to your experience watching the Bears quarterback.
I hope Justin Fields is good. I really do. I'm pulling for him. I like Justin Fields.
I'm so excited. I've never been so excited for an NFL season in my entire life. And I think it's because I now have like a ton of teams to cheer for. Obviously I'm a Colts fan. I'm from Indy. I have the Browns being an Ohio guy as well. I think with that, the Bengals count. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's fun. Yeah,
people forget he went to Ohio State. So that counts as like a team I can cheer for. And then now the Bears, because Justin Fields there. So, and then I live in LA, so like if any of the LA teams are good, I also can take that.
I'm a Rams fan, and a Panthers fan. But the Panthers, we're like, I don't know what the Panthers are doing. You know what I mean? I think we wanted Deshaun Watson, but of course, like that wasn't an option anymore. So we got Sam Darnold, and I'm not sure like what to do with Sam Darnold. At least there's like an LA connection where I'm like LA to Carolina. He went from USC. He's at but every USC person we've ever had, Dwayne Jarrett, the list goes on. I mean, they've all been disasters. So
the Panthers and Hornets are in the same boat, I think. Like in the Pacers, like we've talked about that, how the Pacers and Hornets are similar, where they're good enough to get you to care. But not good enough to like actually do anything.
Well, let me just say, LaMelo Ball, I have high hopes. I really do. I every day I thank the Lord that we have LaMelo. I really do. And if you think about Team USA, LaMelo and Zion is unstoppable. Like, if you talk about like a fun duo that can come and just like run you, LaMelo and Zion,
Ja Morant.
Yeah, that's what we need. I think that's what's we got to win gold so that we leave like on top. But then we got to come back with all new young gunners and a new coach. I want Nate McMillan. I think he was on Coach K's staff, so that would be a tribute to Coach K and his farewell tour. But yeah, I need LaMelo and Zion.
That'd be sick. That'd be and let like this generation of guys. I'm putting LeBron and Durant and Dame and like that generation.
CP3, yeah. Russell Westbrook, let him go.
Flush it out. Be like, you did it. Congratulations. Yeah. On to the next.
Rest. Take a break.
Rest. Yeah.
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 You
on
won
the seventh day, Kevin Durant rested. All right, that's it. Enjoy the weekend. Have a good time out there, everybody.
And good luck to Team USA. Left. Oh my gosh, please.
Good luck to Team USA. There's a little bit of summer left. Go do something fun. Go outside. That's my encouragement to everyone
Fresh
listening.
Air. Yeah.
Go enjoy the I don't know, the outdoors. There you go. Go walk around the block. And we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good.